And if you don't believe it, do your own research. Pull up Google. You'll find the picture, I promise. Oh my god. Thank you, John Gleason, Godless engineer, for gifting me this beautiful moment. Y'all remember when they tried to cancel Steven Spielberg for posing with an animatronic triceratops animal rights activist? Back it up. Hit it from the back. Cloaca. Historical facts.
Eat my ass, BP. You're down here bailing on the rest of us because you don't want to process your grief and shame like a normal person by drinking and mistreating strangers.
No, Rick. It is you who must nibble my cloaca, or bird asshole.
Everyone knows what a cloaca is.
You know, back in the Civil War, and they spread these things out. Anybody can look it up online. They spread these things out, and this is a historical fact. So, you know, they spread this thing out, and this has got a huge winglet. It's a pterodactyl they shot. So, of course, these things have been around. Now, they went extinct, obviously, slowly, but surely. And so...
Paul Bunyan was sharing some Funyuns with his pet velociraptor. Whoa. Oh, you thought it was an ox? Roll back the clock. Let me knock the socks off. Historical facts.
I didn't cut out. You heard me. You a pervert or something? Okay.
What's up, heathens? How ya doing? I'm the Godless Engineer, and I critically analyze apologists' claims to give you the best arguments and information so that you can stand up and use your voice. Tonight, we're going to be taking a look at a video from I guess a theologian is what she is. She's got a lot of degrees and everything like that, but this one YouTube channel, this one organization sat her down and asked her about some atheist arguments against the existence of God. Now, I have some issues with what they call atheist arguments, but we'll get into that in a little bit. But if you want to fuck around and find out exactly how bad these atheist arguments are, then please stay tuned. I gotta get that metal door thingy working a little bit better, and I'm also just a little dusty because this is a black shirt and you can see every fucking little thing that's on the black shirt. It's a good camera. It is, yeah, it is a good camera. Also, it didn't help that I kind of cut my mustache up a little bit, so I got some like hairs that are like going everywhere and everything. Anyways. So if you guys don't know, here at the Godless Engineer channel, every month the money that we make off the channel, a portion of that is going to go to a charity. This month we chose a charity, and I can't remember the name. Brian. Yeah, it's Brian Stevenson's charity, the Equal Justice Initiative. If you guys don't know who Brian Stevens is, and you like watching movies that's based on history, check out Just Mercy. It's a story about one of his more challenging cases. But he does the Equal Justice Initiative, and basically, let's see. Let me go to EJI. Let's see. Our work, maybe. They do a lot of stuff with the criminal justice reform, racial justice stuff, anti-poverty, and public education. So, I mean, they do a lot of good work for civil rights and stuff. We thought that was appropriate for this month. So we are going to be donating, I believe it's quite near $500 this month to the Equal Justice Initiative. So, so Cadence in the chat said that the metal door transition is really fucking loud, and I've got to tone that shit down. I don't know. I'll have to fix that for next time. I won't maybe I'll just do some fades for this time until I can get that particular thing worked out. But I'll see if I can get that turned down a little bit. Anyways, so we're gonna be doing that, the Equal Justice Initiative. If you would like to help us contribute to any of the charities that we donate to here on the Godless Engineer channel, you can become a Skeptic Mafia member. You can send a super chat, or you can just simply watch our videos and share them with friends and family if you think that they would not disown you after watching me and my foul fucking mouth. But anyways, so tonight we're going to be getting to Nancey Murphy, I believe is her name. Cadence, crap, I hope I got it. Cadence did a super chat saying, "Fuck your charities." Thank you so much there, Cadence. So we're going to be moving on. We've got a full show tonight. We've got some Today I Learned. We've got some comments to go over, and they are all saying, "Fuck you, Godless Engineer," pretty much. And then we're going to have Procephus do something a little bit different than shitty-ass science, and he's going to do a shitty-ass review of a game that's going to be coming out, and that I'll probably play here on the Godless Engineer channel. So it'll definitely be topical. Zachary Lahaki says, "I don't think so, John. I don't think so. John wouldn't go over well with my family, but I love watching you." Yeah. Oh man. All right. So, since we got a full show, let's just jump right on into it with some Today I Learned. Today I learned I lost my ukulele. Ah! Woo! Where the fuck did my ukulele go? It just straight up disappeared. I had it. Oh, there it is. Today I learned. Woohoo! I'm sure everybody appreciates me getting out the ukulele. First up tonight, we've got a Today I Learned through a scientific study or journal article or something like that, that transgender teens receiving hormone treatment see improvements to their mental health. The researchers say depression and anxiety levels dropped over the study period, and appearance congruence and life satisfaction improved. So that's awesome to hear, although
Here comes the gravy train.
it's awesome to hear, although Republicans just want to act like these kinds of studies don't exist, but they do. So, Republicans can go and fuck themselves. Let's see, we got Lucrezia Cosplay that says, "Can KC mic up tonight?" It's just a button push away. Yes. So do at least 42 other people. Too young to feel this old. Man, I feel that particular channel name right there. In the past I did. I'm definitely this old now. Just send it a whole bunch of hearts. Thank you so much for Too Young to Feel This Old. Appreciate you. But yeah, this Today I Learned is good Today I Learned stuff. It's not always bad or depressing, with the Today I Learns. Like, here's a good one, which I don't know if, Deviant Outcast is watching yet, but, today I learned that scans have revealed there's a large unexplored void in the Great Pyramid of Giza. I wonder what in the Brendan Fraser's The Mummy was going to come out of that. We're going to find some kind of weird cursed box, and a Noxtuna Moon is going to get her revenge, I'm sure. And then finally today I learned that 1998, part of the hull of the Titanic was recovered and is displayed in a casino. Because that's where that needs to be. Visitors are given a boarding pass with the name of a passenger and find out the fate of their passenger at the end of the exhibition. I would love to see, because like at the end of the exhibition, it's like James McFeely was a rich motherfucker, so he was on a singular lifeboat because that's how shit worked in the 20s is when it went down. Casey's like, fuck history. Tomato Chan Zumiti, the Zumington Zoomer, says, I share something in common with Giza.
You know, donating this much only makes me drink more.
I too have a great unexplored void. Damn. All right. So that's going to be it for Today I Learned Today. I hope you guys learned something. I know I always do whenever I research these. I say research in the loosest of terms. I read the titles. Anyways, so now we're going to go to the comments. Y'all ready for comments? They're particularly horrible. Comments of the day. Prepare to facepalm yourself in the next week. You know, it almost sounded like a chord. That was an ass joke, GE. Oh, okay, I got it. Daniel M says that David says good night. Well, good night there, David. I hope you have a great night, a great weekend, and a great next week.
Just a little bit of money.
Just a tiny bit of money. Okay. Oh, and if you're wondering, I'm not doing it sober tonight. I have crack and cream soda. So thank you so much, honey, for making me some crack and cream soda. All right. First horrible comment. Ever since I started doing shorts, especially when I do shorts where I respond to a Muslim, I get these types of comments, and it never fails. Abdullah Rahman says, there is a workout machine behind you. Get of YouTube and work some weight of. Work some weight of, you fat ass. It's just... It's funny because like I have a Fitbit and I run at least 45 minutes a day. Like I get high heart rate activity at least 3 times a week, if not more. I do the physician the physician's opinion on how much high heart rate activity you should get each week. So like in light of all that, this is really funny because it's like, oh, you're fat. You should spend 24 hours a day running and you can't get on YouTube until you run. Joke's on him because I'm still on YouTube when I'm fucking running. Okay. So, all right, next up. It's another one. Well, yeah, because like I said, these people like seem to gravitate. Like whenever I do Muslim response videos, these types of Muslims or people in general just seem to gravitate towards me. I don't think this one was on a response to a Muslim, but still, all the same, it says, you need to engineer your ass to the gym, hoss. Hoss. Like, I feel like you really got to put an emphasis on the aw there with the gym hoss. Also, I like how the channel name is Don't Be Cringe, and then the only thing he writes, or this person writes, is cringe as fuck. I don't have to get to the gym. I'll do what I want to there, buddy. People just love to shit on other people. That's just how shit goes. Let's see. All right, enough of the fat comments. Now it's on to some atheism hate. All right, we've got Mika S., who says, you seem awfully intent on disproving something you claim you don't believe in. Well, so the person in the video that I was responding to was talking about how Noah's Ark has been found and Jesus's crown of thorns have been found. Or wait, maybe this is... Oh, no. That's not what this one is. Sorry, that was a different one. This one is where this guy claims that there's a rock that that Moses struck with his rod in order for water to come out. He claims that that's that rock, and he also claimed that like there's a real Mount Sinai and stuff like that. Anyways, this is just misinformation, and I felt like providing good information. Also, considering the fact that typically atheists are mistreated in the public eye a good bit of the time, we're told that we can't have morals, or that we're idiotic for not believing in God or all this other stuff. I feel that it's incumbent upon me, having the platform that I do, to be able to speak up and show how it's really these people, the apologists, that are the fucking dumb ones, because what this guy showed in his video and said is just fucking dumb. So anyways, I don't know why it matters to them that I'm so intent on the atheism vertical as far as my content goes, but they just want any reason to dismiss whatever I'm saying, really. This is a good comment right here. I had to throw in a couple. Owen here says, not a historian, just has a degree in basket waving. And that's N.T. Wright that he's talking about, because N.T. Wright doesn't have any like relevant degrees to history or anything like that, but yet he's sitting up there talking like he's a historian. He actually alluded to himself in the video as a historian, but he's not a historian. He's got theological degrees. Whether those come from theological seminaries or regular universities, it doesn't matter. It's still a theological degree. And so he's really just trained on professionally defending the faith, which makes him an educated apologist. And but I do like how he juxtaposes it with basket weaving, because basket weaving has just as much
Hey, y'all know what? Any time is a good time for a beer.
Has just as much of an application as a theological degree does to history. Yeah. Jester, Lord of Fools, says, new channel, run, Godless Gap, run! All right. And then this one's another good one. Another good comment saying, Paul Vale says, I'm going to use the everything finite points to the infinite on my mates in the pub, then observe the looks on their faces. Because my look on my face when I heard that in the video that I was responding to was like, what the fuck does that even mean? Because it's a good question. Like, what the fuck does that, like, how do finite things point to the infinite? Like, I feel like there's a bridge there that you got to build and you're just not doing it. So I'd love to hear how that turns out there, Paul. Can't wait for you to drop that bombshell on them. All right, next up, this is on my video. Atheists can't answer this simple question. Matthew says, God exists. Just because you won't believe in Christianity doesn't mean it doesn't exist, asshole. maybe there's some kind of language barrier here. I don't know, but this was like there's no like punctuation at all. So I mean, I guess you could say God exists just because you want to believe in Christianity doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Like it's just a long run-on sentence. And you're right. Just because I don't believe in Christianity doesn't mean that the Christian God doesn't exist. But that's not the reason why I think that the Christian God doesn't exist. So you're going to have to try again and stop, misrepresenting my position, which I didn't even put in the video as far as all that goes. So yeah. Next up on the comments, we've got this. It's from that same brand new evidence for God video. Zacchus says, "You say a lot and make no sense." I think he's talking to me. But in any case, yeah, I feel like anybody that has the mindset where God must exist, otherwise nothing makes sense, I feel like they would not understand anything that I fucking say. I mean, I'm from the South, so I speak pretty slow, like in general, because I've just got that slow Southern cadence, I guess. And so, yeah, anyways, I feel like I speak slow enough.
2 Timothy, what the fuck ever, shut the fuck up.
Well, fuck me. We'll get to the super chat here in just 1 second. We got Metatron Black that says, which I'm really confused by this comment because I think it was kind of like, oh, today's opposite day, so I'll just do everything opposite that I would say. Because Metatron here goes, "Full of God, engineer. I've been watching your glorious Christian faith for 15 years now, and you pointed me to the right decision to follow Lucifer." Which is funny because I haven't been doing this for 15 years. At best, you could say I've been doing it for like 10. As far as like publicly and everything like that. Like I was an atheist before I started the channel, but in any case. And then, yeah, I don't know, like the full of God engineer, I feel like he could be just being like a sort of a pejorative type thing. And then of course the right decision to follow Lucifer. I don't think that anybody should follow God or Lucifer. But I think that because I don't think that there's good evidence for God. So like, I don't think that people should believe in bullshit things, but that doesn't mean that I am going to force you to not believe in God or anything. Like, as long as you're coming to the decision yourself, I don't care if you believe in Lucifer, Satan, God, whatever in the fuck. Just, don't be a dick. Like, I feel like that's a pretty good rule to live by. Just, fucking in general. So, whatever. Okay. So, Vanta Blue, send a super chat saying, "Sadly, the worse the English, the more likely it's the only language they speak." You know what? That's a good point. I feel like we've hit an inflection point on this because, like, the worse that the English is, I think the more fluent of an English speaker they are, especially here in the South. All right. So Casey had a bit of a say on this. So, it's on this video that I posted up just a few hours ago. I recorded it yesterday, but it's whatever. So notice how I'm holding the microphone, right? Mike Thole did a super chat. Thank you, Mike. Mike says, "This is such a good community.
You are blessed by Christ, ma'am. Or sir. You are blessed."
You were blessed with Jesus' come there, Mike. Congratulations. Mike Thole says, "This is such a good community. I haven't been able..."
Maybe you should quit drinking all that beer, GE.
Nope. "I haven't been able to catch the Friday show for a long time, and I'm so happy you and KC are still at it. Also, cheers, every one of you beautiful sons of bitches. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate that. Jester says, pretty sure Lucifer has a better track record for honesty, at least lore-wise, obviously. Yeah, that's true. Lucifer does. If you had to follow one of those motherfuckers, I think Lucifer is probably the better one. Also, the like 10 commandments or whatnot, or the 10 tenets of Satanism, I think beat out the 10 commandments any day. All right, so anyways, pay attention to how I'm holding my mic here, right? Because apparently that is super important, okay? And it's this little lavalier, or however you pronounce it, mic, right? It's got a little thing on the back. And I just, when I don't have my dick wand, when it's not attached to my dick wand, which this right here makes it even worse, what we're about to go over. When I don't have it attached there, I just sort of hold it in my hand. It's got a nice little clip back here that I just sort of hold between my fingers, like I've smoked when I haven't. But I just hold it and I speak into it and everything like that. And I don't even have you can see the pinky in it. Like I don't even have my pinky up like, this. But this guy, David, he decided to shit talk me. And he says, the high-pitched way he says, look at the trees. And the way he delicately holds the microphone with his fingertips makes me wonder if he and his husband have matching wedding rings. I'm like, is that not a common thing for like married people to not have matching wedding bands? Like, I mean, of course, KC's wedding band is a lot prettier than mine because mine's just like it's just like a silver thing. Like I don't need anything fancy on my hand, but like our matching, like I get the homophobia and everything like that because he's got like a fucking smooth ass pea brain, right? But it's like, oh, you guys have matching wedding rings. It's like we're coordinated and we like fuck us. I've never heard of somebody being like, yeah, look at that motherfucker with his coordinated clothing and accessories. just fuck that guy. Oh man. Anyways, all right. And then KC, of course, came in and said, weird. I've never been called his husband before. And yes, we do have similar wedding bands. In any case, normally the mic is clipped to a dick wand. So this is arguably less gay. As if gay would be a bad thing. Oh man. I really don't get it. I don't get homophobia in general. I guess, like the hatred towards people. Like I've never gotten that, specifically. But I mean, I've never been one to just hate people for whatever reason. I mean, I've had my times where I'm like, look at that motherfucker eating a cracker. Son of a bitch. Like I've had those times, but I feel like everybody has those, like that motherfucker's eating a cookie, kind of like you don't know why that person bothers you, but their very existence just grates on your nerves. Like I feel like everybody has those kinds of things, but for whatever fucking reason, this guy right here had to go the homophobia route. So, enjoy your smooth ass pea brain there, buddy. I'm sure that this guy thinks that KC's a man by now. So I guess we'll have to check in on that later. Okay, so that's going to be it for the comments today, because I do believe, let me double check to make sure. Yes, that is all. That's all the comments that we have. But y'all know what we got now? Normally shitty ass science, but today it's a shitty ass review. I'm going to go get Bro Cephas. I'll be right back.
Shitty ass science. Look at the answers of science shit really wrong.
What in want me to look at what? I'm going to look at a video game. You know I don't play those little Satan boxes that both you and KC have. KC's in there talking to somebody else. Probably your husband that guy just mentioned. Trying to get permission for some shit. I don't know. Anyways, I guess I'll take a look at this fucking game you want me to play. What?
What are you bitching about in here?
I'm not bitching about nothing.
Okay.
I was talking about how you were probably asking GE's husband for permission to do something.
I thought I was G's husband.
Well, I mean, you're not a husband, so obviously there's a third party in this relationship.
You?
Wait, no, I am not. No, I am not GE's husband, okay? Why you gotta do that? You're gonna send me to hell, woman. Okay. Apparently he's got this shit loaded up right now. All right, so this is the I Am Jesus Christ video game trailer. I have not seen this motherfucker yet, so we are all learning about this now. We'll see how good this game looks. See if I can really be Jesus, which, no offense, Jesus. Maybe we should say a prayer before we watch this motherfucker right here, okay? Dear Lord Jesus, I promise I'm not trying to do a blasphemy. Don't strike me down with the force of 1,000 Zeus lightning bolts. And we're just going to play this for fun. I'm definitely not trying to be Jesus, okay? I get my role in this relationship. All right? I sucketh his dicketh, and then I don't get thrown in the helleth, okay? So please, I'm not doing a blasphemy there, Jesus. All right, thank you. Amen. There we go. Okay. So let's find out what this fucking video game is about. Shit, I muted the video sources. Now we can play.
Many people have attempted to write about the things that have taken place among us. Reports of these things were handed down to us.
What if, I think that this, how awesome would it be, okay, if, well, shit. Oh, there we go. How awesome would it be if they did an Among Us, like DLC, but it's like Jesus and his disciples. Yeah, whoever plays Judas is always going to get kicked first. You know that. But, it's whatever.
There were people who saw these things for themselves from the beginning. They saw them and then passed the word on.
Now, GE would tell you, no, they didn't see this shit and then pass the word on. Nobody saw this shit. Also, look at his fucking glowing hands right there. Now, that's not biblical, okay? I got to go with a biblically accurate version of this, okay? Because his hands did not glow, and it doesn't talk about his vision changing or any kind of shit like that. Also, what's with this walk on water? You can walk on water by pressing the control. Does it say control key? I can't fucking read that. Tab. You gotta press the tab key to walk on water? Why can't you just fucking walk on the water? You think Jesus had to concentrate to do that? He just naturally did that shit when he had to walk on the water and calm the seas and shit. And then selecting the walk on water ability. Then approach the body of water and press and hold the mouse button. As long as you don't ask me to double click the mouse, okay? Because that's nasty. That's something sexual, and so I don't, hopefully there's no, repeatedly mashing the mouse button, because it's like, click your mouse, click it, click it, click it, click it, click it, click the mouse button.
With this in mind, I myself have carefully looked into everything from the beginning.
I'm Simon. This is my brother, Andrew. We're trying to catch fish.
What the fuck was that? There was some kind of glowing orb in the water. That ain't biblical. Again, with the fucking glowing hands. Water to wine. I wonder what's going to happen here. I have no fucking clue as to what to do with this water to wine shit.
I'm afraid the wedding appears to have a small issue. I don't know, but I thought you might be able to help.
So, like, we're just going to play through the entire Bible? Is this just an apologetic tool? I mean, I'm perfectly fine with that. This would be a great way to get kids into the Bible. Be like, hey, look, cool, you can be Jesus. You can turn wine, you can turn water into wine and get all your friends drunk as shit.
This wine is better than the wine we had before.
I like how Jesus had to roll away the stone himself, and to roll it away, he just sort of had to act constipated and look at the rock like it with a squirrely look, like, did it.
Please, Lord, just heal my son.
And that right there was probably just a cut scene. Finalizing the healing. Where in the fuck is Jesus right now? Like, is he underneath Jerusalem in the catacombs and he's having to like force heal like through the catacombs? Like, what the fuck is going on here? I have no unearthly idea what like, where is this? Why is Jesus's hands see-through? That ain't biblical.
Lord, if it's you, Peter replied, tell me to come to you on the water.
Like, he just raises his hands to the sky and you just gotta maybe hold your mouse and it's like, did it. Where's Judas? Oh, fuck that one right there. You see the one to the right here in the stripey? You see him? He's like right there on the screen. Yeah. Fuck that guy because he don't have like a little thing above his head. That's Judas. He's also sitting right next to him on the right hand. So Judas, right hand, it makes sense. Fuck that guy. He's going to kill me. Why can't I just kill him now? Zap his little ass. Fucking heart attack, stroke, something. I don't know.
I am doing this for you. I want you to know that the things you have been taught are true.
I am Jesus Christ. Wait a second, that's it available on Steam? Like, is it available now? Let's see, it said available on Steam. Oh, the prologue's free. Let's see. Plan for release Q2 of 2023. What? Apparently, this game is similar to DayZ. Oh man, sorry, that's got me lightheaded. It's similar to DayZ. Because the motherfucker resurrects from the dead. Oh my god. Oh shit, y'all can't see this right now. I wish that I could get this particular like little clip, but there's like a laser that's being shot out of his fucking hand, and he must be in hell. Oh, it said on the screen, it says, defeat Satan. We're going to defeat Satan, y'all. But let's see. I am Jesus Christ. There is a prologue that's free. I just added it to my library. We're going to play this shit tomorrow. The I Am Jesus Christ prologue. We're doing it. Doing it tomorrow. Tomorrow morning, first thing in the morning, I'll get a live stream set up and we will play this fucking game. I can't wait. Richard Taylor in the comments, Jesus with a giant Z for zombie. Anyways, I'm a Christian. Dear Lord, please, I'm so sorry. We did not mean to commit a blasphemy, but this game is a bit blasphemous. I mean, you got Jesus Christ down there defeating Satan with laser beams out of his hand like he's a goddamn Iron Man. So, really, it's not me doing the blasphemy. It's whoever made this game that did the blasphemy. Oh, man. Hey! We're playing a video game tomorrow morning.
We are?
Yeah.
What are we playing?
Well, the prologue to I Am Jesus Christ.
Yes.
I can't wait for that shit. He's got lasers that shoot out of his hands like he's fucking Iron Man while he's defeating Satan. He's also walking on lava.
That sounds fun. What time are we playing?
Probably something like 10 o'clock maybe in the morning, or I think I'll be up by then. It depends on how much alcohol I had tonight.
Are you going to be playing it, or is GE going to be playing it?
I haven't decided yet. I might just watch GE play it because, he'll have the better commentary. Yeah. Anyways. All right. Well, that's it for me doing a little bit of a review of a video. I hope that y'all enjoyed my review of this trailer for I Am Jesus Christ. It is coming out Q2 of 2023. So that's Q1 is January, February, and March. Q2 will be April, May, June. So apparently somewhere in those 3 months it will be released and we will play through I Am Jesus Christ. Spoiler alert. Jesus dies. Huh?
I thought we were playing it tomorrow.
There's a different prologue game that's available tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
My guess is let's see what could be in the prologue. Well, God obviously has to knock up the 14-year-old child, so we'll probably play a little bit of a creepy, rapey God kind of figure. Maybe Michael has to come down and let the child know that she's going to bear God's child, and then maybe there's something that goes on there. Maybe we'll have to do a little bit of walking on the water. Or what if we have to escape the slaughter of the innocents? I feel like, here's my honest review of this game, okay? And then I'll let GE say his piece. I think it's going to be awesome. Okay, it's going to be great. Who doesn't want to be Jesus? All right. How many times have you seen a person out there with their little blind walking cane and you've been like, man, if I was only Jesus, I could spit in his eyes, lick his tongue, and rub dirt in his face, and then he'd be cured. How cool would it be to do a game where you do exactly that? Or maybe it's storming outside and you're like, I'm tired of this shit. Your hands go all translucent and shit. You shoot a laser beam out of your palm of your hand. Did it. That would just be awesome. I'm going to let GE say his piece about the game because I know he was watching. He was on the ground most of the time rolling around laughing his ass off, but I'm going to let him get back on here now. I'm going to go get him real quick. Got to help him up. He shit himself a little. Come on, wipe yourself off, you bastard. I did not shit myself.
Both of you are crazy.
But, we're going to play the prologue tomorrow, and I feel like probably I'm not the crazy one. It's whoever made this fucking game.
Okay.
Because that shit was wild. I didn't even bother with a transition. So, here's my honest opinion about this game. Okay, this game is gonna be bad. Now, not New Testament bad because it's got decent graphics, right? It's not gonna be New Testament bad, but it's gonna be bad. Okay, because we've been reading through the Bible. Okay. And sure, the Bible's long, but this is just the gospel stuff, right? And they're going to try to harmonize all the accounts, so you're going to be able to play through like all of the accounts, all of the events that supposedly happened in Jesus's life and everything like that. But I mean, we already know the story. Like, other than apparently the fight that takes place where you're fighting Satan. Which I'm gonna see if I can get a window capture going on here. Steam. Apparently it's not going to capture the actual page. Okay. Maybe we can do like a game capture. Specific window. It doesn't give me, no, cancel. Maybe I can just do sorry, I really want y'all to see what's going on here. There we go. Okay. So I can't hear it either. There's no sound. We don't need sound for this, okay? So the awakening of Jesus. Oh, look, now there's a fucking fireball. Pushing and pulling on. What are we having to do here? Why wasn't this in the IGN trailer? Okay, so we're gonna have to build shit. Okay. There's Doc. Yeah, well, no, this is just, we are, but, I mean, I'm looking, this is a little bit, it's got a little bit different gameplay here. It's not. I mean, the graphics are a little bit better, and it's got the actual story of the Bible, not like whatever you're making it out to be.
2 Timothy, what the fuck ever? Shut the fuck up.
Except for this, out of Holy Spirit. You have a Holy Spirit bar. There's a Holy Spirit bar. It's that you're out of you got to gain more Holy Spirit. Finalize healing. Okay, yeah, that's the part that I didn't really understand. Okay, this is new. How crazy would it be to be like like Jesus was an assassin?
I've come to drink beer and shit on people. Luckily, I have enough beer.
Okay, let's see. That, there was one where he was like shooting lasers out of his hands. Where the fuck did that go? Here's a little bit of it right here. Maybe this is the prologue. I wonder if the shooting lasers is only on I Am Jesus Christ. I think it was only on the actual. Yeah. Here we go. All right. I like how they always start with the awakening of Jesus there. See, now we get a little bit of third person. Oh, wow. These are bringing Satan closer. Defeat Satan. Show Satan he's no match for your holy power. And then watch. Oh, okay. There's him walking on water.
Maybe you should quit drinking all that beer, G.E.
See, that's what happens when Jesus lays a massive nuclear fart. As you could tell that's what he did. Like, he farted and he blew it that guy's direction, and now he's just suffering the consequences of smelling God's ass breath. Oh, there it is, laser hands.
Hey, y'all know what? Any time is a good time for a beer.
Defeat Satan, and you've got fucking laser hands. Fuck you, Satan. Oh, there's dumbass Peter. Fasting the holy. Oh, this is him in the wilderness. This is going to be interesting. These character models are shit, though. I am Jesus Christ, and we couldn't afford better character models. They should have partnered with the Catholic Church. Oh man. Anyways, okay, that's it for that. We need to get to the video. Are y'all ready for the video? Well, let me sorry. Let me check out these super chats here. What's Jonathan? Well, just a comment in the side chat. Jonathan Hadchek says that I would say that this is early PlayStation quality, maybe PlayStation 2 quality, but it looks like it's going to be a crappy game from the 80s, maybe early 90s. Well, we'll just have to see. Daniel M says it's a first-person Jeebus shooter. What happens when you get the parables wrong? I don't know. Vanta Blue, wow, it's not released yet and already have rewards from such impressive reporters as the Lad Bible and Fox News. Mike Thull says, if you lose/die early in this game, does it say, congratulations, you are an overachiever? Doubtful Form says, it appears the red tunnels are blood vessels? I don't know if they're blood vessels or if it's like some kind of fucking holy realm or something that you've got to like navigate through the holy realm in order to get to the child that's dying, maybe? I'm not sure. We'll have to see how they actually gamify the Bible. I'm quite interested in this. So we'll play the prologue tomorrow morning, and I'll get that set up right after this stream. Which, in case you're wondering, we do have a possible stream tomorrow night with Richard Carrier, where we're going to be discussing the idea of a pre-existent Jesus in Jewish theology. We have plenty to work with from recent interviews and live streams from other channels that we could actually go over real arguments from the mythicist direction. So we got Johnny Rapine who says, since Jesus is a carpenter's stepson, they should have just modded Fortnite. I do think it's cool that...
2 Timothy, what the fuck ever, shut the fuck up.
It is cool that they got some like carpentry in there. Like just the fact that you got some carpentry in there for Jesus. And I don't know, honey, do you know what the game DayZ is? No. So it's like a sort of a survival game, but it's based in a zombie sort of apocalypse type situation. But on the Steam page, it says similar games that you've played, DayZ. They said that a zombie game is similar to the Jesus Christ game. Fair. It is. That is fair. Anyways, okay. So let's get to the actual video tonight. Yeah, we just faded into it, so there's no fancy ass transition because I got to get that I got to get that transition fixed. I don't want to blow y'all's ears out or nothing. Okay, so let's go to the next one. All right, Nancey Murphy. So tonight on the live stream, we've got Nancey Murphy, who is going to be giving her professional responses to a number of common objections to the Christian God. It's specifically the Christian God because she's Christian, and really her issues with what the pushbacks are really coming from a Christian perspective. So let's see what Nancey has for us.
Nancey, atheists are not just attacking theist views. They have their own views.
Yes.
Wait a second. Right off the bat here, I have to really push back against this because I don't see atheists as attacking theists. Like, that's a really weird way to contextualize the discussion being had. Because while there may be some atheists out there that unnecessarily target, somebody that just generally believes in God. But most of the time when we're pushing back because there's somebody that's making a poor claim, or there's somebody that's just outright lying about what's in the Bible or misrepresenting the God that they believe in. And so we push back against it because we ourselves were duped into the religion, or we were indoctrinated into the religion, believing those things, and those things are wrong. So it's just a way for us to push back against a belief that we formerly held. And so I don't see it as attacking theists or even religion in general, although I think it would be fine if you did attack religion. It's right off the bat, it kind of seems like a weird way to contextualize the discussion.
They talk about the pointlessness of the universe, the violence in the universe, the evil in the universe, the wastefulness in the universe, the imperfections in the universe.
Well, yes, we do talk about those things, but only because of the claims that are made by theists. Namely that, like, this universe was created for us, or this planet was created for us. A number of those things kind of factor in. Also, this whole idea of an omnibenevolent God. If God was really all that good, then, why in the fuck does he allow all this evil? Or why did he create a reality where this evil does happen? And all of these kinds of points to point out problems with the Christian theology. So, I mean, it's not like we read the Bible and then we went out and started attacking theists. We've read the Bible. We were indoctrinated with the Bible. And then we left those beliefs behind, and now we're just responding to the people that keep repeating the things that we used to believe, but believe no more.
What does a Christian theist say to all that?
Well, how would you know that the universe is pointless unless you had already decided that there is no God that gives it a point? So that's definitely a circular argument. And
well, so whenever somebody brings up the whole pointless, we don't exactly, at least I should really frame this as like how I argue things, because obviously how I argue things isn't how all atheists argue things. I don't ever argue about come at it from the position of, oh, this universe is pointless. I mean, I don't think that there's any transcendent purpose or meaning to the universe. And I don't think that, the fact that nature is amoral or just, it's oblivious to our existence, and like that it doesn't have an intelligent mind or anything like that. Like, as far as like the purpose for why the universe exists, yeah, there's no purpose. But I don't think that we need a purpose in order for us to find purpose in life and to enjoy the life that we have. Of course, this isn't just like, oh, we're assuming God doesn't exist. It's that the evidence doesn't show that a God is necessary for nature to exist or for this universe to exist. And so therefore, we don't see any need for a transcendent purpose or a transcendent meaning, or transcendent point. And so it's because of the lack of evidence that points us in the direction of God do we come to that conclusion. The way that they're kind of putting it here makes it seem like, oh, atheists just assume that there's no God. No, we don't have evidence that one needs to exist or does exist.
And I think very easily dismissed.
Well, it's an argument from the physical world that there's no apparent point to what I'm seeing with all this stuff in the physical world.
I feel like the way that he phrased that is rather ambiguous. Like, what does it mean for it to have a point? I've been interpreting that as like a transcendent purpose. Like there's no purpose for nature other than just to exist. And I think that that's a perfectly fine answer, that there's no ultimate purpose or transcendent purpose, like as if there needs to be an intelligent being that created all this for some ultimate purpose, which in Christianity, the ultimate purpose is to suck his dick. Okay, to praise him 24/7, do everything for him. That's the purpose that they're talking about. Yeah, I don't think that us being on this earth, the reason for that, or the point to that, is so that we can praise this dickhead God. Because God, the Christian God is a dickhead. That's certifiable. In the Old Testament, you just read it, total dickhole. Okay, that's what God is in the Old Testament. All right, so I don't think that there needs to be that transcendent purpose or any transcendent purpose for us to just enjoy fucking life.
But that's just assuming that this is not the first stage in God's plan for a new heaven and a new earth.
Okay. Show me the evidence that there is a plan, which is a very Christian plan, by the way. But I don't see the evidence for that particular idea. And it's not that we haven't considered that idea. Most atheists have grown up in some kind of religion. And for me, it was Christianity. So I've definitely considered that idea. It's just that we don't have any evidence that points in that direction, so there's no reason for me to further consider it. If you have some evidence that shows us that that is the plan, or that is the end goal, or something like that, then fine. We'll throw that right back into the mix, and we'll roll the dice for initiative or whatever in the fuck and see what it comes up with. I mean, it just seems like she's complaining that, like, oh, they're not taking my idea seriously and factoring that in, because then they would really know that, oh, well, I don't know if it's this magical explanation or if it's just a purely natural one, which if you go with uniformitarianism, you would understand that the natural processes that happen the same now as they did in the past, and they don't need an intelligent being there in order for them to work. So it doesn't seem like a God is necessary for any of that. And as far as the implications that we're seeing in our universe now, it seems like we're careening to heat death. And that at some point we're going to reach this heat death of the universe. And at that point, which is very far off into the future, everybody that's alive now will not have to worry about that, but potentially people in the future will, the far distant future. But when we're careening towards the heat death of the universe and just everything going cold, it doesn't seem like there's this new heaven or new earth. That's just some bullshit that was made up and that people bought hook, line, and sinker because they don't want to think about the universe careening towards heat death.
And a new earth, specifically. And so it's a circular argument.
Okay, well, what about some of the other things?
Those are very serious arguments. The imperfections, the suffering, the evil. Of course, human evil, we can blame ourselves for that. And if you believe in free will, as the atheists do in probably the same percentages as the theists do, you've perhaps even got less reason to think that, to expect people to treat one another well. And so human evil shouldn't be any better argument against the existence of God than for, I'll start over there. So human evil shouldn't be any stronger argument against God than for God.
Now, okay, so the problem of evil, I feel I do agree with her. I'll start from a point of agreement that the problem of evil is ineffective against a general idea of God. Like a general idea of a God existing, I don't think that the problem of evil is all that powerful against it. Now, that's because the general idea of a God doesn't really have a lot of attributes tacked onto him. Like we don't have like a very fleshed out description of him, but the problem of evil is very effective against Yahweh or the Christian God, because the Christian God's supposed to be omnibenevolent, right? I get that people have free will, but I think that there's no harm necessarily in God implementing consequences for people that choose to use their free will in ways that he doesn't want them to. I mean, he was doing it all over the Old Testament. He would have the Israelites go in and kill an entire group of people. He genocide the fuck out of them, despite what Dr. William Lane Craig wants to think. But he would have them genocide a whole group of people because they were not doing the things that he wanted them to do. So he sends them to hell. And so I don't think that it's out of the wheelhouse of God to implement consequences for not doing the things that he wants us to do, because he's already been shown that he will do that. Now, what could that look like? Could it, because I mentioned this on Vice Rhino's stream lately or recently, and he was like, that's a little impractical. I think the more practical implementation would just be these, like, if you think about, raping a kid, you slip and you trip and fall and break your dick or something. Me personally, I like the view of God popping into existence and punching somebody in the dick and then popping out whenever they decide to use their free will in horrible ways, like raping young children. And so I that's not like, if you were to transpose that to just like a normal human person, like Superman popping in, punching some dude in the dick, I guess lightly, and then popping out and then doing it again. If he starts to move in that direction again, like, you're not affecting that person's free will. You're just providing consequences for them exercising the free will in the ways that you don't want them to. Shit. I accidentally hit a fucking button, and that caused the
Nancey, atheist.
That caused my video to get a little fucked up. So I'm gonna have to go back a little bit. Okay. Sorry about that. As far as the problem of evil goes, effective against Yahweh or the Christian God, not effective against the general idea of God. So I wouldn't use the problem of evil to say God doesn't exist, but I would use the problem of evil to suggest that there is a problem with the description of the Christian God, which that's the one that she is providing here in this video, which is very confusing because on the one hand, she's talking about like this new heaven, new earth, and all this other stuff as the responses to the other issues that she can easily dismiss. But on this particular issue, she just appeals to a general definition of God. Seems like she's, kind of playing with some equivocation here.
Human evil, we can blame ourselves for that. We believe in free will, as the atheists.
Sorry, I was having trouble hearing that.
In free will, as the...
Well, shit, now I don't hear anything at all.
the atheists do probably the same percentages as the theists do. You've
Fuck, I've got to backtrack. I don't know what the world is going on with my... Okay, hold on. Maybe I need to restart my...
Nancey, atheists are not just attacking theist views. They have
Technical issues with GE.
For that. And if you believe in free...
I think these headphones are just jacked up.
will, as the atheists do in probably the same percentages as the theists. You've perhaps even got the atheists do in probably the...
Okay. It was playing fine. What are you talking about? No, okay. Yeah, those gaming headphones.
Just a little bit of money.
There we go. Jester, Lord of Fools says reality itself doesn't want to hear it anymore.
And if you believe in free will, as the atheists do in probably the same percentages as the theists do, you've perhaps even got less reason to think that, to expect people to treat one another well. And so human evil shouldn't be any better argument against the existence of God than for... I'll start over there. So human evil shouldn't be any stronger argument against God than for God.
Okay, one thing that I didn't cover that I wanted to was this idea that nature is amoral, so it doesn't really care about what is moral and isn't moral, but morality itself is subjective. So when she says that, like, you know, we should expect humans to exercise their free will and be horrible about it, I just think that that's a consequence of, like, just nature in general being amoral, and us with our complex central nervous systems coming to moral conclusions.
You are blessed by Christ, ma'am. Or sir. You are blessed.
And morality itself just generally being a subjective thing. And so we should totally expect humans to be shitty. What we shouldn't expect, if God were to exist and that God is omnibenevolent, is for humans to be allowed to be shitty. That's the thing. It's not that on this idea of Christianity, we should expect robots or people that, can't exercise their free will. We're expecting God not to allow the shitty behavior to happen. And that's due to the fact that in the Bible, God does shit when people are doing things he doesn't want them to do. He actively does things. So, this is a problem of their own making.
The suffering and imperfection, those have been, I think, rather intractable problems for theists, at least since the development of evolutionary biology. For a long time, the standard Christian story was that suffering of humans, undeserved suffering, or apparently undeserved suffering, and suffering of animals, natural calamities like tsunamis, earthquakes, famines, etc., these could all be explained as either punishment for human sin or a causal consequence of human sin, because it disordered the chain of command from God to the angels to humans to the organic and inorganic world. So the chain of command is broken, and then the natural world is all disordered.
And this explanation makes more sense to you? To this person? Like, this person here thinks that that makes more sense than just sometimes bad shit happens. Nature's amoral. Nature doesn't give a shit about our perception of morality or our subjective rules about what's morally good, right, or wrong, or bad, or evil. Like, it seems to me that a lot of Christians think this way, that it makes more sense to think that a woman eating fruit from a tree that she wasn't supposed to, without the knowledge that it was bad to disobey God, by the way, eating that fruit apparently just fucked all of God's shit up. You're trying to tell me that the most powerful and intelligent being in the world was foiled by fruit salad? I mean, did God think this shit through, or did God need Eve in order to disobey him, in order for all of this shit to play out like it did? Because if you're trying to tell me the smartest motherfucker in the room didn't think that somebody was going to take a bite of that fruit after telling them not to, I just don't believe it. Like, there's no way, if he's the most intelligent being, he knows everything, that he didn't know she was gonna make a fruit salad with that motherfucker. Okay? He knew it. He should have known it. The moment he made her from fucking Adam's rib, he should have been like, oh, that bitch likes fruit. Like, he should have known that. But this makes more sense than just nature doesn't give a shit, because nature can't give a shit, and nature doesn't have a mind, and so it can't make moral judgments, and so it can't impose moral ideas on living organisms. So, like, it makes more sense magical fruit fucked shit up versus just nature exists and doesn't give a shit about us. I will never understand the appeal to magic. Ever.
But once that storyline...
Sorry, I totally forgot about Eric's super chat there. So sorry, Eric. Eric said they are not allowed to listen to us. Ergo, talking to them is an attack. Exactly.
Of historic fall, disordering of the once previous cosmos, etc., has been destroyed, first of all, simply by historical criticism. We no longer believe that those books of the Bible are historical narrative. But then in particular with the advent of evolutionary biology, where we know that the animals were suffering for eons before humans appeared on the scene to sin, there hasn't been any really good explanation for all of that suffering. But
well, there hasn't been a good explanation for all the suffering because Christians describe their God as omnibenevolent, regardless of whether or not somebody ate a fruit from a tree they weren't supposed to, or did whatever. I think that you would need to explain the unnecessary suffering of any life in the universe based on this whole idea of an omnibenevolent God. I mean, obviously with the Old Testament, I don't see how you can say that God is omnibenevolent other than, you're trying to indoctrinate people into, or gaslighting people into thinking that, God only does this stuff because he's good and it hurts him more than it hurts us, and all this other toxic, abusive sort of rhetoric that's often used in toxic, abusive relationships. And so I feel like It's the omnibenevolence of God that is the problem here. If you were to just say, oh yeah, God's a dickhole, but he'll fuck you up if you don't follow what he says. Like, I don't think that we would have such a problem with with evil if Christians didn't have this omnibenevolence tacked onto Yahweh. I mean, if they would just say that, yeah, God's kind of a dick, but what are you going to do? He's God. Like, I know that that's not the party line of Christians, but it was the party line of like the Israelites and the Jews later, that, God is a jealous God and he will fuck you up if you don't do what he tells you to do. Okay? Like, they had no problem saying that kind of shit.
The philosopher Leibniz, in the 1800s, suggested that the more we know about the way the universe is interconnected, the more we see that we can't change one bit of it without changing a whole lot of the rest of it. And as science has developed, particularly what we know about the so-called fine-tuning of the natural laws, we can see that the universe, in terms of its basic physical structure, had to be almost exactly what it is like in order for us to be here.
So in order for our exact universe to be here, yes, the physical laws have to exactly be what they are in order for our universe to be here and for us to be here with it, right? But that doesn't mean that there can't be another configuration where life is still where life still appears in the universe. Oftentimes these constants are affected by other constants. And so if you change one constant, who's to say that other constants wouldn't change to compensate? And all these other different intricacies that we just simply don't even know about yet. Like changing one constant changes another constant, which changes this law and changes that law. Like, it would just be a different universe with a different set of laws and a different set of constants. That's it. So she's making an argument from hyper specifically, well, it has to be this way for our universe to be here. But who's to say that this is the only configuration that produces life? This is the only configuration that we know of that produces life. But that doesn't mean that we can rule out all other configurations as not producing life, because ours does. Other configurations can. We have discovered life in some of the most inhospitable places. So if life can develop and thrive there, then life can develop and thrive in a universe with different laws and constants and different physical makeup in general.
Well, let's.
Another thing I didn't really cover earlier was her bringing up evolution and how evolution somehow factors into all this. There are theistic evolutionists out there, even Christian evolutionists. So it doesn't make a lot of sense to me to throw evolution in there and be like, oh, evolution caused a lot of problems. It's like, oh, only for the creationists that, dogmatically hold to the, first 5 books being history. Like those kinds of people, it throws a kink in their kank, for those people like Ken Ham and Kent Hovind, but it doesn't throw a wrench in everybody's. I mean, there are plenty of Christians that accept evolution for the fact that it is and are still Christian. So I don't think that really causes a big problem for it.
Look at the wastefulness of the universe, where we have all this intergalactic dust. We have millions of asteroids crashing into one another. Every time we look at another planet and get one of our spacecraft there, they're pockmarked with the remnants of collisions. And it seems like there is so much chaos in the universe that we have all this abundance of what it seems to be absurd.
Obviously, she's got problems with what he just said. But, a lot of the things that he talked about there are very subjective, because from his point of view, he sees it as chaos. I don't think that it's necessarily chaos. I just think that that's just the natural world operating like it always has. Because comets colliding into other objects and everything like that, like, there's nothing chaotic about that. It's just, that's just what happens out there in the universe. We've seen it happen. These dust clouds collapsing and forming entire solar systems. That's just something that happens. It's not chaos. Chaos is a very subjective determination of what you're seeing. Like, if we were to look out into the universe one day and we would in real time see the pillars of creation collapse and start to form a universe, that could, somebody could see that as like chaotic, like, oh fuck, what's going on over there? Holy shit. Or you could see it as like a beautiful birth of a new solar system, which, I mean, we've seen the births of new planets and everything like that, and you could see that as chaotic. Or you could see it as, the birth of a new planet or the birth of a new solar system or a new star or anything like that. Like, it's all in your perception of things. So everything that he said was very subjective about how the natural world works.
Who says it's wasteful? I mean, that's a value judgment.
Well, so where the wasteful part comes in all of that is that this idea that God created this universe, right? And it's specifically the Yahweh God that created everything. And he created the earth and the entire universe for us. Like, we're the only organisms that have attained this sentient state to where we would know this Yahweh God. I'm not saying that we're the only organisms ever with sentience or anything like that, or that there's not some kind of semi-sentient creatures that are already on this earth. Because there obviously are some semi-sentient or some creatures with some semblance of sentience on the planet now. But we're the only organisms that have reached this place where we have come up with this Yahweh God. And so to think about how we are just a small speck in the vastness of the universe, and for all we know, and well, specifically for Christianity, life doesn't exist elsewhere. Life exists nowhere else. It's us. So God created the entire universe, the vastness of the universe, so that he could put life on just one tiny speck in one tiny corner of the entire universe. If that doesn't seem wasteful, I just don't even know what to do with you, because that seems entirely wasteful, especially if you consider this whole idea that this God is an intelligent designer. I mean, if this God's an intelligent designer, why is he wasting all of his material? Seemingly wasting all of his material. And if he's not wasting his material and he's like actually putting pockets of organisms and different planets all over the universe, if he's doing that, then why doesn't he clue us into all these other like societies and planets and organisms that also believe in him? Like, if you were to show me another planet that came up with the exact definition of Yahweh that we have, the exact Bible that we have, but it's on like a completely different planet that's completely independent from us. We haven't been there. Nobody's touched it. There's been no missionaries that have been sent across the vastness of space in order to reach there and spread the word of Jesus. I think that right there would be pretty mind-blowing evidence for the Yahweh God. But considering that we have found no other organisms yet, that doesn't mean that no other organisms exist. But considering that we haven't found other organisms, and on this earth itself, you have many different ideas about what this God could be or what the gods could be, because there's plenty of polytheistic people out there. There's plenty of polytheistic cultures. There are plenty of cultures out there with different gods, with thousands of gods. So it seems to me highly unlikely that we would find another incarnation of Christianity in the exact form that we have it now. But you're going to try to tell me that this intelligent designer, this intelligent engineer, created the entirety of the universe, the many trillions upon trillions of other planets, but he only put us on this one lonely blue rock. Well, it would be blue from a distance, whatever in the fuck. This blue speck in the midst of all of this darkness. That's it? You're going to tell me that's not wasteful?
Maybe it's wonderful that it's all out there. There's a psalm that I quote a fragment of, and I probably won't get the words right, but when I look at the stars, the work of your hands, what is man that thou art mindful of him? You know, number the stars, number the grains of sand on the beach, and then think, who is man that thou art mindful of him in the midst of this universe that we now know is so much bigger than the psalmist could ever have imagined. It's glorious to have all of that out there. God must enjoy it, and as we are able to take photographs of it and enjoy it, it's marvelous for us too. It's a value judgment to say that it's waste.
I mean, it's waste if God's not doing something with it. Like if God's not using that in order to create more pockets of humanity to worship him and his glory, then it does seem like a way, because there are portions of the universe that we will never see, that are so many millions of light years away from us. We'll never see them. Like naturally, I mean, we'll never see them. So, I mean, it just seems so weird to me for, I guess I meant billions of light years away, not millions, billions of light years away. It seems weird to me to say that it's not wasteful for this universe to, one, have so much stuff in it that doesn't have life on it. That seems wasteful for one. For two, with the fact that most of the universe is actually empty, like the space between the pockets of matter, I mean, that consumes how much, how big our universe is. Like the majority of our universe is empty space. How is that not wasteful? Like, I don't understand this. She's making a value judgment about it, but she's just sort of chastising the response to this idea of an intelligent designer. She's chastising them for being like, well, you're just assuming that it's all wasted. You don't know that. In the same way, you don't fucking know that your God exists. You don't have evidence for it. You have feelings. There are feelings, there are experiences. There's no like evidence of it. And I get that she thinks that she has evidence in the fine tuning of the universe or morality or free will or whatever in the fuck she said about Eve disrupting the entire order of the universe by eating a fruit salad. Like she thinks those are pieces of evidence for her God, but they're not. Like they don't prove her God. So, I mean, it seems like she's just casting doubt on the response just because the response doesn't work for her idea of God or her idea of the universe.
Now, another really important argument that people keep raising is the wastefulness of the evolutionary process.
The wastefulness of the evolutionary process. How is there wastefulness in that? I mean, because it's just a process, and it would also depend on how you defined waste. Like in that particular context, what's considered wasteful? Poo would be wasteful. That would be waste. How much does one person have to shit before they grow another appendage so that they can wipe their own ass? I mean, come on, how much shit has to be wasted? I guess I don't understand what it means for there to be like the waste in the evolutionary process. We'll find out here in a second.
But that also is a faulty argument. You can't have evolution without death. Where would there be room for all of us if all the dinosaurs were still alive?
I mean, so the whole death entering into this world is actually Eve's fault in the Christian theology. So, I mean, it kind of seems to me like she's shooting herself in the foot at this point, because she's like, in order to have this criticism of evolution, you would have to also have this criticism of the Genesis story, because you would have to agree that Eve had to eat the apple. Otherwise, death would not be introduced into this life. And so, there would be, quote unquote, dinosaurs walking around, as Ken Ham would have us believe. But, dinosaurs wouldn't have died. If Eve hadn't have eaten the apple and disrupted all of the order of reality, according to her, then, dinosaurs would be alive now. But she's also defining waste in the evolutionary process as death. I don't think that death is wasteful as far as evolution goes, because death is just what happens to organisms. There's that one jellyfish that's supposedly, quote unquote, immortal, but death is just something that happens. Organisms don't live forever, and evolution is the description of the change in a group of organisms over time. So I don't see how that can be wasteful, and death is, in this particular context, is not wasteful, because it's it's a part of the process. So that's not wasteful. I guess what you could consider wasteful would be if you have a group of organisms that the ones that survive the best in the environment don't propagate their genes, and so the group of organisms steadily become weaker and weaker in that environment. But I mean, that you may be able to describe that as wasteful, but evolution would eventually weed that out. Like, they can't continue that for, several generations. I mean, at some point that group of organism would cease to exist. And so if they're wasteful in the process, then they're just not going to survive. But again, that's not how life works. Life works by surviving. That's how life propagates. So I just totally disagree with her on the whole idea of waste in the evolutionary process.
The evolutionary process requires the dying out of individuals, and it also probably requires the dying out of some species so that they can be replaced by species with higher powers.
Higher powers? Like, what the fuck is this? Goddamn X-Men? The laser's out of his hands?
Literally just saw it.
Fuck you, Satan! As far as death being required in evolution, the thing that evolution requires is just the passing on of genes. Now, death is part of that process, but I don't think that her characterizing it as death is required of the process. I don't really necessarily see that. I see death as just being an integral part of it that happens, and there's nothing we can do about it, right? Because things die eventually. That's just a fact of reality. The thing that evolution needs in order for it to be able to describe the changes over multiple generations is for genes to be passed on from one generation to another. I mean, you would still have evolution if, as soon as an organism passed off its genes to the next generation, it just zapped out of our reality and into its own reality where it could fuck off and do its own thing. Like, not necessarily dying, but, because it can't live forever, it fucks off to some other dimension or something. Like, there would still be evolution in that group of organisms in that situation with no death involved. So evolution doesn't require death. It requires the passing on of genes.
It's not waste.
Some would say that your whole argument is one of rationalization.
What has fucking seemed rational that has come out of her mouth yet? I'm just asking right now. Like, has anything been rational yet? Because maybe he's trying to say that she's trying to rationalize her faith or something like that, but nothing has seemed rational. Like, she lost me at the whole Eve ate fruit salad and disrupted the order of the universe because not everybody was sucking God dick.
Tough. No, it makes the point that you can't simply argue from a few bits of observation to God exists or God doesn't exist. These are total worldviews. These are totally different ways of looking at the whole of reality. And you can't take someone from one of these worldviews and say, here, let me rub your nose in a few of these details, and poof, you're going to change that person's mind. I, as a theist, see the whole world differently, I'm sure, than the way the naturalists see it. And silly as this might sound, I sometimes look at a sequoia tree and I think of it as reaching up to God.
So let me get this straight. The naturalists see a tree, and the tree grows up, right, towards the sky. And I mean that's because that's just where it goes. That's where the sun is. That's where it gets its energy from. It's you can even do experiments on your own with plants and like on your windowsill, because they'll always grow towards the light. They always go towards the light. Wherever that light happens to be from, that's the direction that they'll grow in. Trees outside grow up because and they'll even change. Like, there are some, I believe, is it sunflowers that they actually change the way that they face? Well, yeah. But I mean, that goes back to the whole, they grow towards the light. So that's a naturalist view. And then you've got her view. The trees are growing up so that they can reach towards God. How am I supposed to take that seriously? This woman, I've got it in the description, like a description of Nancey Murphy. All right, it says Nancey is a philosopher and theologian who is a professor of Christian philosophy at Fuller Theological Seminary in Pasadena, California. She received a BA from Creighton University in philosophy and psychology and a PhD from the University of California, Berkeley in philosophy of science, and a theological degree from the Graduate Theological Union. So this is, I mean, what? Despite all that education, trees grow towards the sky because they're reaching towards God. How am I supposed to take that seriously? That's right, honey. I can't. And but of course she's over there just like, deal with it, atheists. So it seems rather weird to me to like, this is the state of the conversation, I feel. as far as like explaining our universe or proving God or something like that. We have rational people over here who were like, oh yeah, you know, the reason why plants grow towards the sun is because of this reason. And then you've got people like her over here that are like, they're reaching for God, that's why. And that's like, as far as the arguments go and the discussion goes, that's where we're at. Every single time I see an argument about whether or not God exists, I'm going to think about this moment.
Hoot, hoot. Here comes the gravy train.
This moment of, it grow towards God. Like, that's what I'm going to think about. Who's Your Buddy says, Cook Pines grow towards the equator, checkmate God and flurfers. Ooh, yeah. That's a good point to bring up.
Naturalists can't see trees like that, and I can't make a naturalist see a tree as praying.
You're not going to get most Christians to believe that trees are praying, idiot.
Yeah, I think that it would be hard to convince any rational person that trees are praying for God or towards God or anything like that.
Trees praying. We can just stop there.
Trees aren't sentient. Oh my God.
But
Do you mean that as metaphor or as reality?
The host had to clarify because of the shit that she just said. Like, he's like, surely she means metaphorically praying here. Oh my God, I can't wait for this answer. I hadn't made it this far in the video because I was like, surely there's nothing crazy that's gonna happen after this point. And then of course Nancey comes in with trees are praying to God, and the host is like, you mean metaphorically? Please tell me you mean metaphorically, because plants don't pray. Let's see what she's got.
metaphor, but it's
Sorry, yeah, I know, I was muted. So, it's metaphor. I don't understand why anything that she said would be a clear indication of metaphor. Like, even the host was like, you mean metaphorically? Or like, what are you talking about here? So, I mean, the way that she said everything made it seem like she thinks that trees are literally praying to God. I think that she needs to do a better job of communicating that she means that metaphorically trees are praying to God. But even then, I don't know what that fucking means. Is this another look at the trees argument? Like, is that what this is? I feel like that's what this is. It's just another look at the trees argument.
just an illustration of what a different world the theist lives in from the world that the naturalist lives in.
Again, what Casey said that she lives in a fucking fairy tale land. Crazy bitch. She called her a crazy bitch. So when she says things like, this is the world that theists live in, I mean, this makes me think that she literally thinks that trees are praying towards God and that trees are reaching towards God. So she's still continuing this like weird communication that makes me question whether or not she means literally, because it doesn't seem like, on the one hand, she seems to mean literally this is the worldview of theists, but on the other hand, she's like, no, this is just all metaphor. The fuck are you talking about? Could you pick a fucking lane, please? No, honey, I've never known apologists to be consistent. You're right.
And you can't just say, point at these few different aspects, and presto, you're going to convince someone from the other worldview that, oh my gosh, I've been wrong about all of this and I've got to change my mind.
Yeah, I mean, she talks about, pointing out these few things, but I mean, if she points out evidence that points towards a God, I mean, you could quite likely change someone's mind. And I mean, maybe you're not the one that changes somebody's mind, but at some point down the line, you're going to contribute to what changes that person's mind. So, I mean, I don't think that you should expect to change someone's mind right on the spot, but with the evidence that they bring forth, no, that is never going to change somebody that's not considering that trees are praying to God. There's like 2 seconds left. And it fades to black. Okay. Fade to black. And we're just going to pop right in over here. So, obviously, I was not convinced by what she was putting down in this video. I'm not at all... What? Oh yeah, okay, I got you. It's a different kind of high. She is. So yeah, I was not convinced by what she had to say tonight. It was, very unconvincing. I think that, her apologetics to get around the pushback of the claims of their God, I don't think that they did their job. I think that they were severely lacking in explanatory power and in accounting for the evidence that we already have. So it seems like, she did a very poor apologetic job, which she seems to be an educated apologist, which I'm using that very generously. And if the worldview of Christians is that plants pray to God, you're right. I will never take that seriously. I will never be able to view plants or non-sentient animals or even sentient animals praying to God as the worldview. I mean, obviously there are sentient animals that pray to God because, we're animals. But I mean, what I mean is just nature itself, like nature that's amoral, that's without sentience, without any intelligence. That's not saying anything to God. That's not acknowledging God. That's not a testament to God. You first need to establish that God is required for any of that to exist and operate in order for it to attest to a God. But apologists never do that. They never try to actually attest to a God. They just, expect you to get on board with fucking plants praying to God because they grow straight fucking up. On occasion. Not all the time, but on occasion. So anyways, yeah, I wasn't impressed. I don't know if y'all were impressed, but I'd love to hear your thoughts down in the comments. We are about to go to the Skeptic Mafia comments, which if you're not familiar, the Skeptic Mafia is the memberships here on the channel. They help us pick the Friday night videos. I give them like 3 choices and everybody votes. Everybody that bothers to vote, they vote. And they get to pick the video that we watch on Friday nights. So if you want to be part of that process, consider joining the Skeptic Mafia. You can have your vote on what topic we cover. And also, just as a reminder, a portion of all the super chats that we've gotten tonight, also a portion of the Skeptic Mafia memberships, and a portion of the watch time revenue that we get, all of that helps us donate to charity. And this month we're doing the Equal Justice Initiative. Equal Justice Initiative, headed up by Brian Stevenson, which, if you guys don't know, we do our due diligence here with these charities. We go to Charity Navigator and we look at, their financials, and we see what kind of rating they get from Charity Navigator, which is a very trustworthy third-party, sort of watchdog agency. And did you know that Brian Stevenson takes 0% salary from that organization? He is the president or the CEO, or I don't know what they do for. Well, yeah, he's an attorney, but he's the head of the organization. He doesn't take a salary. The only person that they pay only gets paid like $80,000 a year, and they take in a whole lot. They take in on the order of billions of dollars a year. I'm fairly certain. I don't have the Charity Navigator up, but I mean, it was. I'm wanting to say that it was on the order of billions. Maybe it's just millions. But they take in a whole bunch of donations, and they spend a good majority on it on actual programs and actually doing good stuff. So I thought that was rather interesting. Equal Justice Initiative. So if you want to help us donate, consider sending in a super chat, doing a super thanks. That'll also help out. Or, just watching our videos, sharing them out and everything like that. That'll help too. But as for the rest of you that are not going to be sticking around for the Skeptic Mafia comments, if you will, please, smash that like button and subscribe if you're not already subscribed. And we will see you heathens next week. What?
You got billions.
Sorry, my mind must have added a couple of extra zeros onto it when I was looking at it. Anyways, sorry, Casey looked it up, and they take in about 150 million, less than 150 million in donations. So yeah, I was pretty fucking way off. Okay, that's my bad. Anyways, so if you, next week we're going to be going over Nabil Qureshi, who is going to be trying to prove that both Jesus resurrected and Jesus existed in history. So we'll be tackling that next week, as well as we're going to have a director's cut of Jesus not being a copycat savior. So if you want to learn more about those topics, then you'll have to tune in next week. On Saturday night, we have Dr. Carrier coming by, hopefully, depending on the weather. He'll be coming by to do a discussion where we review some video clips and everything of about the pre-existent Jesus and mythicism in general. So if you if you want to stick around for that, we'll be on for a couple hours tomorrow night, and then tomorrow morning we're playing I Am Jesus, the prologue. Woo! We're gonna fuck Satan up with our Iron Man lasers coming out of our hands. So y'all just tune in for all that sweet goodness here on the channel, and I guess we will see you heathens later. Don't forget to stand up and use your voice. Bye, heathens. But don't go, because we got the the Skeptic Mafia member chat, or the member post thingies right here. Here we go, Jonathan Hanachek, which I did see Jonathan's message in the chat earlier tonight where he pointed out that I said it was going to be at 8:30 tonight, not 8 o'clock. Sorry, that's just habit. I meant 8 o'clock, but my fingers just typed 8:30. I don't know why. Anyways, thank you, Jonathan, for showing up tonight. And Jonathan says it sounds like she's saying evolution is just the wrong idea, even though it's the best information that we have to confer with reality to see what we can find. Also, I found that her list of stupidity for God to angels to humans to organic to inorganic, it just sounds like she really doesn't understand the fact that with more information, the more you understand the world around you, the less information or understanding, the more that can go wrong with what you're trying to do. Sorry for the ramble. I am really pissed off at the fact that every time they're trying to write one of these, I get through part of it and it just ups and disappears. I wrote out a nice long paragraph for this bullshit, and it seems like every time I try to submit it or have the effort to try to put one in, it seems like YouTube, the science to delete it, decides to delete it and just not accept it. This really disturbs me in the fact that they're censoring what I want to say or just completely delete it anyways. Stupid is as stupid does. P.S. to Miss Casey, I just want to hear your comments, concerns, and anything else that you snicker in the background while listening to your husband. And I personally miss Casey's Corner too. A lot of people like your Casey's Corner, honey. It takes effort. Next up is Deviant Outcast, who says, I've so looked forward to my 12-month mark to finally feel like an official member. But I have some bad news, as is everything points to me having to minimum suspend my membership for a couple of months if I want to keep having a roof over my head. Oh, that sucks. Roof is way more important. Roof and food in my stomach. Roof and food's way more important than anything that I'm doing. So definitely take care of yourself first. The latter feels a bit superfluous, like wasteful spending, but yeah, even I know it isn't. Anyway, there's nothing about this that doesn't suck harder than Matt Powell sucks Kent Hovind's wrinkly nutsack. That's a disturbing image right there. And I'm still hoping everything will be fine, but I also know fine doesn't mean good, and it doesn't mean okay either. I'm mostly just trying to keep my head above water while trying to find reasons as to why I should. Now, that was depressing. Sorry for that. Hopefully I'll be able to keep my membership. If not, I'll hopefully be able to start over as a new member in a few months. Until then, stay safe, stay sane, and, lick, like, love. Well, good news that you retain your current position as far as to how many months that you have, pledged as far as membership goes. So if you got to pause for a couple of months, that's perfectly fine. You're going to pick right back up, wherever you left off. So it'll still be like if you were 1 month out from being a 12-month member, then you'll still make that 12-month member whenever you can come back. So don't worry about that, Deviant Outcast. You take care of you and everything. So you just be okay, and that's what I would want more than the $5. Drew's book reviews and other bookish things has some stuff to say. Nothing to say on tonight's video, but wanted to share some good news. Oh, okay. As I have mentioned in the Discord, our family has been struggling to deal with poor living conditions and slumlord for, well, let's be honest, several years now. So we are moving out of British Columbia ASAP to a cheaper market so our family can live in a safe and healthy home. Oh, that's awesome. That's great. I'm so glad that you're getting out of that situation. I know, Drew, both of us have talked kind of one-on-one.
We got a new member.
Woo there, binge thinker. Coming a member.
We got a new member.
Oh, maybe that was a gifted membership then. Because it popped up twice, and I know that happens.
Yeah, it was gifted by Polly Pocket.
Okay, Polly Pocket's gifted. I wish you could specify who gets the gifted one, but it just randomly assigns it. Well, I finally feel like we are actually doing something to make this happen. Next month, I am flying out to see a potential new home with the availability starting in May. This is really helping me feel optimistic and hopeful that this is actually going to happen, not just something we want to happen. That's great. I'm so excited for you there, Drew. I am quite excited about the things moving along, so to speak. And while we won't actually move until July, Sorry, hold on. Not a comment on your comment there. At the earliest, so the kids can finish their school year here and have a good chance to say goodbye to their friends, knowing that we are starting to apply and see places, even if that means paying double rent for a few months, is a big stress release and gives me hope that things will work out. It's bittersweet because we have built a life here over 8 years. The kids have basically grown up here, but this is very much needed, and hard and difficult as it is for the best of us. Is for the best. Just happy to finally be actually taking the first official steps to get this done. Anyway, heathens, until next time, keep on reading. Yeah, you know, when we finally bought our house, I mean, it's been the best thing. Built. Well, we built it. But I'm so glad that you're moving out of a shitty situation, which we weren't in a shitty situation, but I mean, we were in an apartment, and apartments are never a good situation, I guess. I mean, I don't know. Maybe sometimes they are.
I mean, apartments are fine, but like once we were teleworking, it was just too cramped.
Right. The teleworking that we do now, because both of us are near 100% telework, you know, it wasn't really suiting us. So, I mean, we had always planned on building our own house, but it just kind of came at the right time that we were able to. So good luck, Drew. I hope everything works out for you there, bud. Next up is Jester, Lord of Fools, who says words came out of this woman's mouth. It is my belief that they form sentences. Sadly, all those sentences left this member of the audience to feel like a hamster was attempting to explain that its wheel was flat. Now, please join the Skeptic Mafia and join us for the Skeptic Hangout, where 1 month you can talk about Link, Assassin's Creed, and then the next you can learn all about the Aztec gods. Sometimes even all in the same call. Honestly, sometimes I wish we had recorded them for educational content, but you won't know what you're missing until you join. Hey, yes, definitely. If you want to join and have good conversations about just a wide range of topics, we talk about damn near everything. One of our members, Torbjorn, I mean, he goes to college, if I remember correctly, which I believe he's in the chat tonight, he goes to college for free. Like, he's just like, yep, I just want to go to this class. I'm going to take this class. And like, that blows my mind. And he was talking about that in the member chat. And I'm just like, fuck. This is what the Republicans don't want us to have. Like, they don't want us to be able to just go to college without no, expectation to like pay thousands and thousands of dollars for a college education. It's just like, oh, I fucking want to go. Oh, okay. Anyways, they're really great. Join the Skeptic Mafia if you want to have great conversations like that. Command Cyborg says, hello, world. Oh no, boys and girls, this is going to be dumb. And then it's a KC what the fuck face. People love using that face there, hon. What the fuck?
You know, I took that picture for non-sec.
Mm-hmm.
You remember when who did we have the phone? The fucking...
Oh, the soul phone? The spirit phone.
Was that the spirit phone episode?
I mean, I don't know. Maybe. But, I mean, you got a great face for what the fuck. Blah, blah, blah. No point to know nothing. Because you assume that only your God can give out points, and looking smug saying it, no less. Isn't there some Bible verse about that? I don't know, actually. We see evil as a colloquial for bad, and we sometimes borrow words from a worldview we question the congruence or validity of. If the tri-omni God is the one, for instance, this world is not quite as one would expect. I think your explanation on the God-world hypothesis seems a lot more circular. I agree. It was a lot more circular. Depending on what kind of free will you speak about, it seems to me like more atheists reject it than do theists. No reason to treat your fellow human well on atheism? Perhaps. Atheism alone only deals with whether or not we think there's any God. Societal and evolutionary reasons, however, we do. And the rest of a person's worldview, you know, apart from the God or not question, can also be part of this. Okay, I'm going to sleep now. It's probably long enough already. Consider the whale peen, and I heard from a bad authority that it's 15 foot long. Smash all the buttons, ring-a-ding-dong, insert a free shilling here. I don't know if you guys know, but on occasion, we record a Skeptic Mafia podcast. We haven't done it recently, but we should be able to get one out this weekend. Hopefully. There's definitely been a lot of bullshit in the news so that we can definitely do this kind of stuff on the podcast. Not that that was what was stopping us. We've got a lot of things going on in our personal lives that we just haven't been able to record. So there we go. That's all, folks. Thank you and good night. Transmission terminated. Up now we got Tomato Chan Zumiti, the Zoomington Zoomer, who says her whole argument summed up in one sentence. You can't tell me I'm wrong. Not one bit. Maybe y'all need ASMR GE. You can't tell me that I am wrong. You dick. That or nuh-uh. Anyway, enough of that. ASCII time. Oh, is that like a bunny rabbit? This is interesting. An evolved Pokemon. This is like advanced ASCII right here. Yeah, even the great Chungus disapproves. Chungus, for those of you that's not hip to the whole like internet culture and everything, Chungus is just is a big fat Bugs Bunny rabbit, and I'm guessing that's what this is depicting. Big Chungus. And it takes quite a lot to disappoint Chungus the Wise. All that being said, go ahead and lick that like button and do all the YouTube stuff, and Casey's always right. Oh, and tomatoes may be fucking delicious, but I am not a snack. But we still eat tomatoes as snacks. Jonathan Nickel has a reasonable comment. When was the last time I described the universe as pointless? That's my thing, is like he says pointless when I feel like he really means purposeless, or like we just say that there's no purpose, like transcendent purpose to our universe. Purposeless, yes. Purpose requires intent from a conscious agent. I see no evidence of that. When the interviewer invents straw atheist arguments, that doesn't bode well. Exactly, that's what I thought. The woman somehow claims that it is circular to not presuppose a God. No, that is called keeping an open mind and following rather than leading the evidence. Whilst she points out that the universe needed to follow a specific path in order for human life to emerge, there is no reason to think that we are in any way necessary. We are fortunate to be one of the species currently in existence on this planet. It is arrogance to assume that we are in any way special. At least she accepts the findings of science, even if she does think that there was a God behind it all. Thank you, Jonathan, for your comment there, and I totally agree with everything that you said here. And then finally, we got Doubtful Form with the Darwin monkey there and the icon. I love that image, by the way. If we ever mention evil, it's to refute your all-powerful God claims. Either that or the Spanish Inquisition with the comfy chair. Oh, man. And that's it for the Skeptic Mafia comments today. Really appreciate everybody for, sending in super chats like Polly Pockets that gifted 1 GE membership and everything. Let's see. I think I've read everybody's super chat up until now. So, like I said, next week we've got a lot of great stuff coming. This tomorrow, this Saturday, we've got a lot of great stuff. We're going to be playing some video games and first thing in the morning with I Am Jesus Christ. I've already got it added to my Steam library, so we'll just need to install that right after the stream tonight and make sure that we can play it and everything. And tomorrow night, hopefully we'll have Carrier on to discuss how in Jewish theology there's this pre-existent idea of a Messiah or of specifically a Jesus. So we're going to be talking about that. We're going to have some clips from various YouTube channels that we got across that particular vertical of, scholarly or historical scholars or whatever. We've got plenty of that going on. And then next week we've got, Nabil Qureshi, who's going to try to prove that Jesus exists, as well as the fact that, or this idea that he resurrected. And then we're going to have a director's cut of a previous live stream where a guy is going to try to prove that Jesus is not a copycat savior. So if you will, definitely subscribe if you're still here. Smash that like button if you're still here. And you haven't smashed it yet, and I guess we will, I guess we will just see you heathens first thing in the morning with some I Am Jesus Christ. Y'all ready to fight off Satan with your Iron Man laser hands? I know that I am.
I'll make the coffee.
You're gonna make the coffee? Coffee and gaming at 10 a.m. I can't wait for it. Y'all have an awesome night, an awesome Friday, an awesome Saturday, the rest of the weekend, and all that kind of shit. And we will see you heathens later. Don't forget to stand up and use your voice. Bye, heathens.